Hey guys, it's Blue Eyes Master 91, and I thought I would do a couple of test hands for the Ignister deck profile I just uploaded, so let's get on into it. That's an interesting hand. A bunch going on with it. I guess we can normal out a Chi-Chi for the search of Pikari. Then we'll link into our infant, whose effect lets us move the field spell directly to our hand. We would then activate the field spell. Let's see. With the field spell, we can, using the effect, special out Doyan, and our Dark Inf. For already that, Doyan's effect to add a Chi-Chi back, and then we can link summon into a link 2. Splash Mage. Then while our field is empty, main road is empty, Ignister Island to special out Pikari. And then Splash Mage's effect Pikari's effect would activate. Getting ahead of myself here. Grab a copy of Idol Reborn. Then Splash Mage's effect would activate. Allowing me to re-summon out Doyan in defensive mode. Now, this is where we have a few plays. We could, in theory, go into Light Dragon. We could go into Dark Templar. Or into Firewall Dragon. I'm going to say we're going to go into Firewall Dragon. And by doing that, we can now use Ignister Island to resummon a Chi-Chi in defensive mode. And then when we do that, we'll use Gachiri's effect from the hand, negating a Chi-Chi's effect, even though he currently has none on the field, to special summon him in defense, giving us a 3k defender. From here, we can go into our copy of Idol Reborn to revive out our copy of Doyan. Now, this is where the fun starts. To go into Dark Templar, you need 3 monsters with different names. So by setting Firewall Dragon, Doyan, and Gachiri, we get him to the field. Now, Doyan's effect, because he was used as a link summon material, adds our copy of Reborn to hand. Now, we can use our copy of I Meet You. We'll reveal the transcode talker in our extra deck to search out the copy of Doshin. Because I Meet You only has to be a attribute, it is not add ignister by name that you add or reveal. It's a Cyverse, and then you match the attribute. You could theoretically run Shooting Code Talker in this deck, or use a different water attribute Cyverse with 2300 attack to search out your copy of Hiyari. But I don't do that for reasons, I suppose. So with him in our hand, we can special summon out Doyan. Who, this is just going to look really weird, but oh well. So Doyan is now on our field. We can use Chi-Chi to link summon. To go into our other copy of Infant. Now, he is underneath this arrow here. I know that with how zoomed in the mat is, it makes plays a little bit more difficult. But he is here. He's lined up with this arrow down here. So we can slide him over, and he becomes a divine attribute. We also now get to summon more monsters. Now, let me make sure I'm reading this effect right. Level 4, lower. Darn. So now we have Doyan, Chi-Chi, and Pikari. Now, this is cool. This is great. But having 2 darks doesn't help us. Not in the least, actually. Yeah. So this is the other reason I run Hiyari. Because she allows for bigger plays. Because now I can set dark, light, fire, divine, and earth in the link arrows. To go into the link 6. Arrival at Ignister. And Arrival will have 1, 2, 3, 5 different attributes. Or 5,000 attack. Which I can use this to demonstrate how much attack. So with that done, what else do I have to do? Well, I can send Doyan away to go into Ling Karibo. And that would pretty much end the turn. We have a 5k beat stick and our level 1 Ling Boy. We can set the copy of Idol Reborn face down and pass our first turn. They'll likely kill poor Ling Karibo, but we can chain that with Idol Reborn, which is not level specific. It just says target a Attic Nister in the graveyard to special summon it. So, in theory, you could resummon out a copy of a Link monster. For this particular resummoning, we're going to go with Doyan. Doyan's effect can then activate to add... You know what? Well, we'd add a Chi-Chi to hand. Back to hand, rather. And then it would be our draw. So, we get the Ash. Not extremely helpful by any means, but it's enough. So from here, we can normal out a Chi-Chi to add Hiyari. Hiyari's effect then activates from our hand. Because we have an Attic Nistra on the field, we can summon Hiyari to the field by ways of a special summon. And that is exactly what we'll do. So she comes out in defense. Now, here's the fun part. We contribute a Cyber, one other Cyberse monster we control. We can add a level 5 or higher Attic Nistra from deck to hand. And then if we do this, she becomes a level 4. So we can add the Ritual monster if we really, really wanted to. We don't need it. All we need are 3 monsters on the field. So we can set all 3 into our link arrows to get the transcode talker. Yeah, that's fine, whatever. Because Doyan was used to link summon, we can now recycle our Idol Reborn. Transcode Talker's effect then activates. We can target a Link monster in our graveyard as long as it's level Link 3 or lower. Well, we have a couple of options on that. And summon it so that it's pointing to, so it would be co-linked. We have Splash Mage. Splash Mage's effect can then activate, resummoning out Picari Attic Nistra. Now, this is where things get a little complicated. Because now we are all set up. What are we set up to do? Something different, something weird, something fun. Picari's effect would also activate when he is no, it would not, because Splash Mage negates. My mistake. Now, keep in mind that the Light Dragon is able to resummon a Cyberse monster. I believe it's a Cyberse Link. Yep, Cyberse Link. So, by using the Light Dragon, we could resummon the Arrival. Why is that relevant? Because by setting the Arrival, Splash Mage, and Transcode Talker, we get Access Code Talker. Now, because we have not used it this turn, we can use Idol Reborn. Remember, it was face down. So, by using Idol Reborn, we can bring back Doyan once again. Now, Doyan's effect to fetch it from the graveyard will not activate. But we can overlay over here into our Firewall Xyz. Why not Light Dragon? We don't need it. It's a great card, but it's not needed at the moment. We can then detach too. Free summoning Firewall Dragon. Now, access code, sorry, I completely forgot. Access code's effect would have targeted the Arrival. So he'd have an additional 6 grand. I knew I kept that dice off for a reason. Sorry about that. But that's not the impressive part. Dark Fluid gains 500 attack per link arrow of link monsters linked to it. So currently, there are 2 link 4s. So, he is gaining 2,000 attack for each, for a total of 4,000. And, well, that is all we can do this turn. We now have a, let's see here, 8,300 attack, Axis code, a very swole, let's actually do the math. He's at 65, you're at 83. And then we have our Firewall Dragon for Firewall Dragon things. Now, we are set to end the match. Well, end the game. But, let me see something. He is not co-linked to anything. He is just pointing to. Unfortunately, I do not get his effect. That would have just been overkill, I think, though. So, let's assume that our opponents have monsters on board. 3, maybe 4. All of our monsters attack. Yes, I have Axis Code's effect, but let's not use it yet. Okay? It is their turn. They really don't have a lot of options. It's now our turn. We get another Ash. Not helpful. We proceed to swing again. We end our turn. Let's say our opponent tried to do something. We Ash. Now, with this deck, you can pretty much bait out a lot of hand traps. And again, I haven't had a lot of issues searching the last couple of weeks going to locals because not a lot of people are running the Ash in their main deck. It's almost always sided. So, that being said, that's why I'm running this test hand as if there are no interruptions. Another card that we really can't use, and another one. So, this would be a good end board, but, oh wow, we weren't going to get anything for a while. Let me show you what my favorite end board is. And it's something that is just overkill. So, my favorite end board would be something like this. So, he'd gain another 3,000. Let's make it really, really simple. 6 and 2. So, the Arrival would have no attack because it was revived via Light Dragon's effect. But, that's okay. We have a monster with negates and destruction effect. We have Axis Code Talker that can just board wipe. And then we have a very, very beefy frickin' boy. I don't think there needs to be a whole lot of extra work from the Arrival. Now, is that board easy to do? No. It is a very, very specific circumstance, and it is extremely difficult to get. Is it fun? God, yes. Because a lot of deck profiles I have found for both Attic Nisters and even Code Talkers do not run the Xyz. Which, that's personal choice, but in a deck that runs a Link 6, and a deck that has the option of running a Link 5 in Dark Fluid, why not run it? Why not have it on the field? or why not run the Xyz? He's overkill for sure, but not being used is just a in my opinion, it's a insult to the card. But that's my viewpoint on it. Yours may differ. You may agree with not running the Xyz. But that is it for the test hand. I just thought that I would show that real quick. I'll have another video up Saturday most likely. And then Monday or Tuesday I'll have something up. So I will catch you guys in the next video. See ya.